everyone, this is Little Montessori Pandits. Sensory play can be limited by your own imagination, but by giving opportunities and preparing a learning environment stimulates child's imagination. I'm sharing with you sensory crafts made from natural and by recycling materials. Crafts like mobile and Christmas tree decorations. Crafts with dry orange and lemon peels. Sharing the meaning behind Vinux Google, or in English, the kissing bowl. Using empty tea light candle cups and tin cans. I want to start by sharing with you how I made these dry orange, lemon and lime slices. I have a few oranges. It doesn't matter whether you're making orange, lime or lemon, but it's the same approach. You just take a medium size or a large one, as I'm using here because I need it for a different reason, but the drying process is the same. So you just cut the orange slices, so about a quarter of an inch thin slices. That's all you do. Next, place the slices on the oven rack. You switch on the oven at 150 degrees Celsius and slowly dry them in the oven for 2 hours. Every now and again you turn them upside down. Here are a few examples. This is a very simple and effective activity offering sensory play to a child. To decorate the dry slices, I've used clove and star anise. Some slices I left them plain so that it gives the child the opportunity to practice tying the knot. My next activity is about making shapes from orange and lemon peels. This activity can be done with children as young as 2 years old. You can use whatever citrus fruit you have in the house. So today I have some oranges and one lemon, but in the past I've also used grapefruit and lime as well. Once I've taken the juice out, I left the orange peel for about 10 minutes. This makes it easier to scrape the leftover flesh from inside. With a teaspoon or tablespoon, depends on the size of the peel, scrape the inside leftover flesh. Just place the spoon in the center and scrape it towards you. You are now ready to cut the shapes. You can use the cookie cutter shapes or draw your own shapes on the peel. You will need a scissor, one oven glove to protect the inside of your palm. The reason is when you press the cookie cutter on the peel, it digs into your palm, and when you have quite a few shapes to cut, it is better to wear an oven glove. Next thing you do is just cut a slit to open up the orange peel and flatten the peel on your work surface. I'm using the star-shaped cookie cutter to cut the shapes out, and you can let a young child do this task. Other thing I forgot to mention that you need something like a barbecue skewer. I'm using it to make holes in orange and lemon peel. If you're going to use the orange and lemon peel as Christmas decorations or gift tags, then make a hole at the top. If the child is going to use the orange and lemon peel to make necklace, then make a hole in the center. Here is a tip for you. During the drying process, you need to go back to the orange and lemon peels as the holes will shrink. So whatever you are using to make these holes, use it 2 or 3 times a day to open them up until they are dry. I normally do it twice a day, and The drying process takes about 2 to 3 days, not more. Orange and lemon peels are ready for threading and to be used as decoration. This activity must be done under an adult supervision. It's for children 5 years and over. I love this activity because I like to show children that how you can upcycle things, and not every time you have to go out in the shops and buy something to make something. So here I've collected empty tea light candle cups. So here I'm showing you an example. All you do is you just cut around the rim of the metal into small slits. You then flatten the cup just by spreading out the cut metal and press it with your palm, the back of your palm, and it will become nice and flat to work on. You then take a cookie cutter of your choice and draw an outline for the shape, and you just cut it with a scissor, and you have a lovely shiny shape there. And here I have a heart shape metal there, which I can use in making the mobile with the orange slices. As an early years teacher and consultant, I like to introduce children to use different types of metals and also work with different type of tools. So simple activities like this encourages children for future art and craft activities and enhances their curiosity to work with different type of materials. So the way I do this is by preparing an environment. So in a Montessori environment we call it prepared environment. So I prepare all these materials that I want to have the children to use them. I will prepare them in a tray and have them ready for them. I will also demonstrate how to use this material and the tools, and of course we'll tell them if they need any guidance and support, then either my colleagues or myself will be around to support them. In a home environment you can do the same and also have a designated area which the child knows that in that area the child will have these activities and he has to do this activity in that particular area. Once the child has finished the activity, he has to put away all the material and the tools that he had used them in the way that he had found them in the first place. Next thing I'm showing how I will be using the metal heart with the orange slices that I had prepared earlier on. So I want to make a orange and lemon slice mobile, and in between I'm going to use the hearts that I have made. So here I've just lined up all the slices that I'm going to use. Here is an example in front of you. So I'm just showing you. So first I have lined up the orange slices that I'm going to use, and I'm going to tie them starting from the bottom. So first you measure the length of the wire that you will need. It also depends on how long you want your mobile to be. So I leave a little bit extra wire because you always use up some wire when you're tying the slices. So now I am just making a hole at the top of the orange slice. I'll do that on all the slices. I'm using a very thin craft wire, but you can also use a string. I'm now starting to tie the slices. So you start from the bottom and work your way up. Here you see that I have thread the wire from the back of the slice and bringing it forward and then twisting it. Next I'm threading the second orange slice. So I'll do the same. I will thread it from the back of the orange slice and bring the thread forward and then repeat it 2 times. So this way I have the slice well secured, and I'll do the same with the third orange slice and with the heart as well, making sure that I leave enough wire at the top so that I can tie it to the twig. It's up to you how long you want your mobile to be. In the past, I have made it into a very slanting shape as well. So you just let your imagination run, and children really like working with this type of material. I made 3 of these, and from the garden I got a whipping willow twig, and I tied the 3 to the twig and made a mobile out of it. Weihnachtskugel, or the kissing ball. This activity must be done under adult supervision. The kissing ball idea comes from the Middle Ages. So back in the days, they would collect all the evergreens and wind them up in a shape of a ball, and in the center they would place a figure which represented baby Jesus. They used to hang it down from the ceiling in the passageway, so whoever walked under it would bring them good luck and blessings. And the Victorians updated it by adding some herbs and dried apples and lemon slices. They brought a romantic notion to it by adding mistletoe. There are many stories, but one common story is mistletoe is seen as a symbol of fertility and life. So that could be the reason why people kiss underneath it. Things you will need for this activity are some green foliage. I collected green leaves from the garden and also dried flowers. You will need jute twine, a florist foam and florist wire, cicatus, and a netting that you get from your green groceries, and enough water to soak the foam. So let's get started. You start by cutting the florist foam into half. You slice the 4 sides to form a round shape, a ball shape. I'm gently shaping the foam into a round ball. So I've shaped the ball, and the next thing I did was I tied the net that I had, and in the center I've made a hook or sort of like a loop so that I can tie the ribbon to hang it. This is very important that you do right in the beginning and not halfway, because you won't be able to find the center then, as it will be covered with all the green leaves. Now I'm going to soak the foam in water, and this has to be done now as the foam is very dry, and by soaking it in water it would help the twigs to stay greener for a longer period of time, and you won't have to water this every day. Only every few days you can just spray it, and it will keep the kissing bowl greener through the festive period and even longer. Children really love this part of the activity. They love seeing the foam filling up with water and sinking at the bottom. This process takes about a couple of minutes. One thing to remember, do not push the foam, let the process happen. You can tell that the foam is ready to be used as it has changed the color by soaking up all the water. So you can take it out of the bowl and place it on your work surface. Get your green foliage and dry flowers ready. Cut them into small size, about 5 centimeter long. You don't want them to be very long, and also when you cut them, make sure that the bottom which you're going to put in the foam, you cut it at an angle so that it is easier for you to place it in the foam, and that's very important. Once you place it in the foam, you don't take it out because it leaves a hole in the foam, and if you push it back again, it will not work, it will come out. If you remember earlier on, I said when I was tying the net that I've made a hook to tie the ribbon, but I forgot to tie the florist wire to make a loop. So that's what I'm doing, because and I'm glad I remembered it now, because if I had totally covered with all the green leaves, I would not be able to find the hook. So that's what I'm doing. So it's very important to do this part right at the beginning. If you remember earlier on, I had mentioned how to cut the end of the twig at an angle, and this is what I'm showing you here. So when you cut it at an angle and place it in the foam, it helps the twigs to drink water from the foam easily, so it keeps the green foliage greener for a longer period of time. I'm going to now go and fill the whole foam up with all the green foliage and dry flowers. Here is the finished version. This is my last activity. I am upcycling a tin can, turning it into a lantern. This activity is strictly for children over 5 years of age. Must be done under adult supervision. Things you will need are an empty tin can, a nail and a hammer, plain paper. Draw a shape that you want on the tin. I'm using a burlap string, but you can use any string that you have handy. A tea towel or a small hand towel. First, fill the can with water and leave it in the freezer for about 3 to 4 hours. While the can is in the freezer, use this time to draw your design on the paper by using the cookie cutters. After 4 hours, take the can out of the freezer. The water inside is totally frozen, so now you can work with it. If you work with an empty can, you will get dents in it. Place the can on the towel. I I sellotaped my design on the can. Place the nail on the outline and start to hammer, making sure that you leave some space in between. Because of the cold tin, the tape didn't stick so well, so I tied a string around the tin to hold the paper, and that worked. Also remember, very important, not to use real candle because of the heat. The tin gets very hot. So to avoid any accidents with children or adults, please use LED candle or LED lights. Here is the finished lantern. Thank you for watching this video, and if you've liked this video, press the like button and subscribe to my channel. You will find the instructions for making dry orange slices in the